So this first video is going to be from The Truth Is, a really good channel that I recommend tapping into. Let's make sure that it starts it up from the beginning. And this is called Ready or Not.
Marrying into one of the world's most powerful families. They invite you to their estate for a wedding tradition, a game that, unknown to you, carries dire consequences. When you lose this game, you don't just play another round. You're given a short time to hide before your new family hunts you down to offer you to the evil they serve. While this is the plot of the film Ready or Not, the documents released by the authorities just 48 hours ago suggest this story is closer to reality than you could imagine. With the upcoming sequel revealing a global high council that mirrors these real-world power structures, the rabbit hole goes deeper than fiction. Today, we are decoding Ready or Not to reveal how art is imitating a very dark reality.
Yeah, I think this is very important to go into. There's a lot that is going to start to become exposed. There's a lot that's already been exposed, a lot of conspiracies, everything that will make your head turn if you go down that rabbit hole. And today what we're going to do is just start looking at Hollywood and kind of decode the message that's right in front of our eyes.
Ready or Not follows a young bride marrying into one of the world's most powerful dynasties. After the ceremony, she is pulled into a tradition dating back to the family's origin, a simple card game. During the game, she draws the hide-and-seek card, and while she thinks it's an innocent game from childhood, her new family is already putting on ritualistic masks and arming themselves. This isn't a game of tag. If they catch her, she is prepped for a ceremonial offering to the very entities that granted this family their wealth and status. Generations ago, a pact was made, a deal with the devil for absolute power. Now, every new addition to the family must play this game, and if that specific card is drawn, the blood must flow by dawn or the debt is collected from the family themselves. While this sounds like a Hollywood nightmare, if you have been tracking the recent documents release, you know this story is far closer to reality than fiction. This film confirms the theory that to reach the inner 1%, you must be initiated into a hidden circle. In Ready or Not, the family didn't build their empire through hard work alone. They had extra help. Their immense fortune is the result of a 19th century pact made by their ancestor Victor Lee Damas with a mysterious entity known as the Baal. In exchange for his soul, that
seems very similar to Baal.
Family was granted a gaming dynasty that rules the industry. The family even displays the term of this deal through their branding. Their most successful games are named after the benefactor and the ritual itself. La Baal's Gambit, Family Ritual, and Secret Console. While the entity appears only briefly, the board games immortalize him with a classic devilish features, pointy beard and horns, proving that the business itself is a monument to their partner. The games Sunrise and Abracadabra even hint at the ritual's deadline and the supernatural force that ultimately enforces the debt. Ready or Not suggests that the world's most powerful corporations didn't achieve success solely through innovation, but through dark associations. They reveal these ties through their logos and symbolism, just like it appears in real life. These recent files also connected top-tier CEOs and billion-dollar creators back to the disgraced financier's operation, proving that what many call design choices in corporate logos might actually be mandatory terms of a deal. While the first film focuses on one family, the sequel arriving on March 20th expands this to a global network of families that rule the world. It reveals that it isn't just one or two isolated groups, but a collective high council in total power.
Holy shit, they're putting it right in our face, and they've been doing this for so long, but now more than ever, it's ridiculous. There's something that's gonna happen. There's something big that's coming.
This explains why these inner circle figures all participate in the same patterns. Ready or Not isn't just a horror story, it's a revelation of who they truly serve. Another theory this movie tackles head on is the sacrifice for success theory. This is the idea that a soul is the literal entry fee for those inner circles. In Ready or Not, the family must provide an offering every time a new member is initiated through marriage. If they fail to fulfill that promise by dawn, their empire and their lives are forfeit. This mirrors reality with eerie precision. For years, the internet has tracked the chilling patterns of relatives and close associates who mysteriously pass away just as a star reaches a new tier of global influence. It becomes even more disturbing when you see certain figures openly allude to paying the price for their status.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people who sacrificed or sold their soul to be able to get to the place they are, and inside Hollywood, there's a lot of celebrities who had mysteriously their family members or close people next to them just die. And supposedly these are all blood sacrifices to be able to get to where they need to go.
This is exactly what is shown in the film. The family must offer up a member they love to fulfill their pact and keep their fortune, suggesting that what many dismiss as a theory is actually a mandatory clause in a high-level contract. This ties directly into the evidence that generational power for the elite comes from serving ancient deities. In biblical times, there were accounts of those who offered their loved ones to a deity named Baal in exchange for absolute wealth and power. Just like we saw in my Late Night with the Devil breakdown, high-profile locations and their mascots frequently point back to this specific entity. In Ready or Not, the benefactor named Labael isn't just a coincidence. It's a direct phonetic link and anagram for this ancient deity. Labael is Baal, the deity who promises fame for the soul of a loved one. With the upcoming sequel revealing a global high council that governs our world,
you married into that family. Now they're dead. What you didn't know is that this goes far beyond them. By surviving hide and seek, you've triggered a new game. This time against the High Council families.
Whoever wins runs everything.
Everything? The world.
Wow.
the message is clear. The cost of reaching the 1% isn't just hard work. It's a debt to an ancient power that eventually comes due. Once again, art is imitating a very dark reality. But the most disturbing thing this movie covers is the idea of elite hunting parties. On the internet, there have been many stories of such parties where the powerful hunt vulnerable individuals like a game. They bring them into secluded locations where they can get away with unthinkable acts. In the recent documents, while never directly addressed, certain mentions in the documented emails suggest that this level of evil could actually exist. Ready or Not seems to show us a glimpse at what the horror looks like if it truly existed. It suggests that for those at the top, the pursuit is more than a crime. It's a ritualistic sport used to bind their inner circles together. When we look at the High Council being introduced in the upcoming sequel and compare it to the rosters found in the documents released, a pattern emerges. These aren't just groups of wealthy friends. They are a closed-loop system. And Ready or Not, the Ladamis estate is a sovereign territory. Once those gates are locked, the laws of the outside world cease to exist. This mirrors the description of the secluded island locations and isolated retreats found in the recent files. Dead zones specifically designed to facilitate activities that normal society would find unthinkable. The documents reveal an intricate web of non-disclosure agreements and mutual protection pacts that function in the same way. They aren't just protecting money, they are protecting a legacy built on things that can never see the light of day. To the Ladamis family, Grace wasn't a person, she was a resource to be used to fulfill a deal. When you look at the data within these files, you realize the elite don't see the world the way we do. They are playing the same game with us that we see in Ready or Not. This isn't the only film that suggests the elite are more than just people who worked harder or got lucky. The 1989 movie Society reveals how these circles truly view themselves and how they separate themselves from the rest of humanity. The film follows Bill Whitney, a teenager who seemingly has it all: wealth, status, and a home in the most exclusive neighborhood in Beverly Hills. But Bill feels like an outsider in his own skin. He suffers from a persistent sense that his family and their high society friends are wrong in a way he can't quite name. His suspicions turn into a nightmare when he is given a secret audio recording of his sister's coming out party. On the tape, the voices of his family and their elite friends distort into wet, rhythmic sounds of a crowd participating in something far more disturbing than a celebration. As Bill digs deeper, he realizes that the upper class isn't just a social designation. The climax takes us to a high society gala where the truth is finally stripped bare. Bill discovers that the elite are a literal separate species that views the rest of humanity as biological resource.
You see, Bill? It's like this. There's no business like show business. Jesus, Bill, you never were one of us. Who are you? You almost understand, don't you, Bill? You're a different race from us, a different species, a different class.
That's exactly what they feel.
You're not one of us. You have to be born into society. Alien Scott. No, we're not from outer space or anything like that. We have been here as long as you have. It's a matter of good breeding, really.
They participate in a ritual known as the shunning, where they physically merge their bodies into a singular, pulsing mass to feed off the life force and vitality of those they deem inferior. This was very similar to what we saw in my Shining movie breakdown, how a secret organization of powerful individuals fed off the life force of their innocent victims to live forever. Society moves past the idea of simple greed and enters the realm of biological parasitism. It suggests that the divide between the 1% and the rest of the world isn't just a matter of bank accounts, it is a different state of being. It's a direct reference to literal class warfare. In the movie, consuming the poor isn't a metaphor, it is a physical requirement for the elite to maintain their youth and power. The film highlights a mutual protection pact, where the police, the judges, and the doctors are all a part of the same shunting circle, ensuring that no outsiders can ever truly expose them. The shunting ritual represents the ultimate loss of individuality. To be a part of the High Council or the elite inner circle, you must literally lose yourself and become a part of the collective mass. This cinematic horror mirrors the infrastructure of power we see in the documents recently released. While the film uses body horror to make its point, the real-world evidence of closed-loop systems suggests a similar level of segregation. Just as the party in society takes place behind the high walls of Beverly Hills, the documents detail private flights to isolated estates and arranged encounters that exist outside of public oversight. The broader evidence, including over 180,000 images and 2,000 videos, reveal an organized network that treats individuals as mere resources. Intercepted communications within these high-level circles often describe entertainment that is ritualistic in nature, designed to bind the participants together through shared unthinkable acts. By the time we reach the ending of society, the message is clear. The elite aren't just hoarding wealth, they are managing a harvest. They view themselves as a separate species, and with the sequel to Ready or Not revealing a global high council, it seems Hollywood is finally admitting that this game is much bigger and much older than we were ever told. The documents reveal that just like in the film, many of the most influential figures in our world are bound by these dark, closed-loop circles. This reality explains why justice has been avoided for so long. The system itself is designed to protect the collective at all costs. Society tells us these individuals aren't just wealthy, they exist in a separate reality entirely. This is why it is so easy for them to use and discard people as if they're worth nothing. To them, we aren't just lower class, we are different species. This movie suggests that the indifferences we see in the face of these recent files isn't a failure of the system, it's a feature of it. So what are we really looking at here? Is it just a pair of horror movies designed to shock us, or are we witnessing a staged reveal of how the world actually functions? In Ready or Not, we see the contract, the idea that the elite aren't just lucky, they are bound by ancient pacts that require a constant ritualistic offering to maintain their status. Then society takes it a step further, suggesting that this high council isn't even the same species as us. They don't just want our money, they are feeding off the very vitality of the masses to sustain their own power. When you look at the recent files, the infrastructure for this game is revealed in plain sight. The private flights to isolated dead zones, the arranged encounters, and the staggering 180,000 images and videos found in the evidence tranches all points to a closed system that operates entirely outside of the law. It explains why justice is so elusive. You can't prosecute a circle that owns the judges, the police, and the narrative. The sequel to Ready or Not hits theaters in just 12 days, so let me know in the comments if you want me to do a full breakdown when it drops. Hollywood seems to be showing us the blueprint, but it's up to us to pay attention and decode what they're actually saying. Absolutely. Do you believe this film is an accurate representation of what happens behind the scenes of the 1%? Or is it just playing off the theories we've all heard before?
Shit, absolutely. I think so. I think it's they've been putting this in front of our face forever. This is what Eyes Wide Shut was about. All of it, all of it. All right, let me go grab my food. Sawadika. Hello everyone, it's Shaman Gabriel. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also check out this video right here that YouTube thinks you will really enjoy. Thank you for tuning in.